The future of medicine is biomarkers, to actually understand what is it that our body needs. I mean, we don't get a headache because we are like lacking ibuprofen in our system.
Right.
That's not why we're getting headaches.
Isn't all of our dream to live long, healthy lives and not be bogged down by disease and inflammation?
A lot of people take it for granted and they don't think that they need to do anything for their health. But when they are sick, they definitely that is the dream.
Body hacking then is these tools that you've got, this knowledge to deep dive into, okay, what is it that's wrong and how can we start problem solving these different things that might be going on?
I haven't met a single person that have a symptom that haven't had a malnutrition.
It's never too late to change. Knowledge is power and you can always change.
So if we want to avoid getting health issues, then we need to regulate our inflammation levels, and that starts on a cellular level.
What's possible for our health when when we're doing this body hacking, when we're really paying attention to our bodies and our health and doing, feeding our bodies what they need and, caring for ourselves in the way that we really ought to be.
When we're affecting every single cell positively, the body functions better. And if everyone would know about this, pharmaceutical industry would not be needed the way it's needed today.
You are the one that you've been waiting for. No need to knock open the door. Take the leap and be the dream. Be the Dream is your guide to authentically sharing your voice and stepping into the life you've always wanted. Whether through music, speaking, or creative expression, we're here to help you own your unique sound and make an impact. I'm Carolee Garrison, and this is your time. As a lighthouse for aspiring vocalists, I'm here to illuminate the path to fearless self-expression, helping you tap into your most vivacious voice. Through powerful interviews and expert insights, you're going to gain the confidence to be heard, be seen, and finally be the dream. Guys, welcome back to Be the Dream. I'm so thrilled to be with you today. Maybe you've noticed I've been talking on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram, about how I'm kind of pivoting a little. I am stepping more into who I guess I should have always been authentically who I really am, which is I'm a singer. I'm a vocalist. That's my big dream is always about singing on stages. So we're keeping Be the Dream, which is my favorite name I've ever had for this show. But I'm just taking some slight pivots in the description of the show. And as you noticed in the intro, which is slightly changed, as we talk more about using your voice authentically, and we talk about how I'm a lighthouse for aspiring vocalists and for helping people to express themselves just in that longing to use your voice and feeling trapped and feeling stuck, and helping people move through that and just settling into that's where I really belong. So I'm so excited to be making these shifts. This week I've got my stage fright workshop coming up, and that is free and amazing, and it's going to be Wednesday, I think it's the 26th, and then soon after that on April 1st, I am just starting to announce that I'm going to do a Use Your Voice singing, songwriting challenge. If you've ever dreamed of writing your own song and you've maybe started playing around with some words and melodies, this is your opportunity. I'm going to write a song with you. I'm going to help you. We're going to go through all of the pieces of writing your own song. And by the end, we're going to have a big concert, and you're going to get to share your song with a group of people. And it's going to be really incredible. And then we'll go into my signature program, which will be all about how to get your music onto Spotify. And it feels so good. It feels so good to just be here and to be the dream that I've always wanted to be. So speaking of being the dream, a dream that so many of us have, is to be happy and healthy. And so in that train of thought, today we're talking to the remarkable Michaela Morrell, who talks about biohacking and hacking your body so that you can have the best life that you've ever had. She has a background in marketing and business, but life's unexpected turns inspired her to return to university and become a nutritionist. So despite doing everything right, her body kept failing her, leading her to dive deep into cellular health and find real solutions. Today, she runs Food Changes Lives, where she helps people take control of their health at a cellular level. She also shares her passion and expertise through her podcast, BodyHacking, Build a Better You. She is the founder of a large Facebook community, and she focuses on measuring cellular health and restoring the essential balances that 97% of the world struggles with, which is backed by data from 1.5 million blood tests. Her mission is to help individuals create their own blue zone, a life of vitality, longevity, and health for themselves and their families. She's a freedom-driven entrepreneur, and she found herself stuck running local businesses, feeling limited in how she could truly thrive and use her strengths. So for the last 5 years, she's built the business of her dreams. And she loves to inspire people to create a business that allows the freedom to travel and explore the world while balancing the art of motherhood. So welcome, Michaela. I'm so thrilled to have you. Have you ever dreamed of writing your own song but didn't know where to start? Or maybe you've written lyrics or melodies but never shared them with the world. I'm Carolee Garrison, and this is your time. Join me for the Use Your Voice 9-Day Songwriting Challenge. From April 1st to April 9th, I'm going to help you write and finish your very own song. Authentic, powerful, and all you. Whether you've never written a song before or you've got pieces lying around, together we're going to turn your ideas into a finished piece. Plus, you're going to have the chance to perform your song live during our virtual concert, where we'll also celebrate the release of my new single, Use Your Voice. This is your moment to finally create the music that you've been holding inside. No more waiting. Let's make it happen. Sign up now at caroleegarrison.com/challenge. It's time to use your voice. Let the world hear your song.
Hi, Michaela. I'm so happy to talk to you today. You're just one of my favorite people. And I love learning about everything that you're doing with nutrition and body hacking. And I find it so fascinating. So I'd love to start with, what made you decide to get into this work and help people with their bodies and health?
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited too. Our path have crossed so many times, and just adore your energy and so on. But yeah, what made me get into this field? It's simply that my mom was diagnosed with colon cancer back in 2013. And my grandpa was diagnosed back in 2004. And when he was diagnosed, it only took 3 months from he got his diagnosis until he was dead.
Oh no.
And I was only 18. I was his caretaker because my mom and dad was traveling that summer. So I saw how horrible it was for him to die and how painful it was. So when my mom was diagnosed, I was like, no, I need to be able to find the solution. So I just started researching day and night. I put together a protocol that I felt would work for my mom. And we implemented it, and we saw amazing results. So her cancer values went down, and we ended up not needing any chemo. She just needed a surgery, but her body really responded well, and we saw it on all of her blood work along the way. And that's really what inspired me, because I saw how effective the nutrition can be in our healing process.
Yeah.
And that's really what inspired me to go back to university because I have a background in marketing and business, and I went back to study to become a nutritionist instead.
That is incredible. So talk to us a little bit about some of these changes and what it is that we can do to help our bodies and our health, especially as we get into, we just had COVID not that long ago, and there's a lot of people struggling with their health these days.
Yeah, so it's a lot of different things that we can do in order to body hack our body to create better circumstances for self-healing, because that is something I'm preaching about, is that the body is self-healing under the right circumstances. It's just up to us to kind of be the detective to create better circumstances. And there is a couple of things that everyone is responding very positively to when we're doing it. And then it's some stuff that people if they're trying that and they're getting some benefits, but they're not fully getting all the benefits they want, then we can kind of keep on searching for the missing link in your health. But a few things that people can do right away to improve their health. Number one is just like drinking water instead of any diet Coke or whatever. A lot of people have been misled that a diet soda is healthier than a real soda. And it's not.
It's not.
It's as bad for your gut bacteria, and our gut bacteria is everything. So you should not be drinking anything else than like pure things. Water, coffee can be okay, but also caffeine can be problematic if women are struggling with hormonal stuff and stress. But that is like the biggest thing that makes the biggest change over the long time. Then I look at the cells, because a healthy body begins with a healthy cell as well. And most people don't have healthy cells today. They are too hard. They're not being able to communicate because their communication is just disruptive because of the inflammation that goes on in the cell. Our hormone receptors get numbed out, so they can't, like, even if you have the right amount of hormones in your blood, if they can't attach to your hormone receptor, that is problematic. So that is actually also something that we saw during COVID, because have you heard about nicotine therapy?
Ooh, no, I haven't.
Okay, so a lot of the people, so here's the thing. There is nicotine naturally in the world, in what we're eating in the food. So in fruit and veggies, it's naturally some levels of nicotine in it. So our body have nicotine responsors. Oh, sorry, receptors. Nicotine receptors. And when we took the COVID vaccine, those molecules and also the COVID disease, they hijack our nicotine receptors and they get stuck in the nicotine receptor. So a lot of people with long time COVID symptoms, there is like protocols of doing nicotine patches on your body for like 6 days, and you do like 7 milligrams a day. But you do that for like 6 days, and that helped the body to like release the whatever that is stuck in your nicotine receptor. And usually it's like some form of the, the COVID stuff that we were dealing with. And then the nicotine like helps the body function normal again. So a lot of like crazy symptoms people used to have, they just disappears when we're doing that therapy. So it's really funny to see, because like smokers, for example, that might be the only time in history where smokers were less sick by a virus than non-smokers were.
That is just fascinating.
Yeah. So anyway, it's not like not everyone needs to go out and do nicotine therapy, but it's just kind of like fun to understand how our receptors are working. And if our receptors are not functioning correctly, that is disrupting how we're feeling and what we're doing. But one of the big things, measure your cell membrane fluidity, how many pro versus anti-inflammatory building blocks that is in every single cell. And thanks to new technology from Scandinavia, from Norway, we can now measure this very affordable. It used to be a test that cost the insurance company over $4,000 to do. But now it's like, it's less than $200 to do a prick in the finger, 2 drops of blood, and you can analyze it. But looking from a body hacking perspective, this is the biggest modifying risk factor for pretty much all diseases.
Wow. This is incredible, because so we're talking about body hacking and and be the dream. It's like, isn't all of our dream to live long, healthy lives and not be bogged down by disease and inflammation? Like, underneath it all, isn't our dream to like be happy and healthy?
I mean, at least every sick person dreams about that. A lot of people take it for granted, and they don't think that they need to do anything for their health. But when they are sick, they definitely like, that is the dream.
Right. And so body hacking then is these tools that you've got, this knowledge to deep dive into, okay, what is it that's wrong, and how can we start problem solving these different things that might be going on? And this is one of those ways where you're like, no, here's a clear indicator of what's going on with your health and how you can start improving. what's going on in your body.
The future of medicine is biomarkers to actually understand what is it that our body needs. Because a lot of people, I mean, we don't get a headache because we are like lacking ibuprofen in our system.
Right.
That's not why we're getting headache.
It's just a
So
band.
exactly. So if we can understand how our body is built up, what fuels our body, what components of our food and nutrients does the body need, then we can start understanding that, okay, am I eating today all the components my body needs? And if not,
Mm.
am I making up for it tomorrow? Can I make it up for tomorrow? Because a lot of vitamins are water soluble, which means that we are not storing them in the body. Whatever we're eating, we're using it right away, or it's flushed out if it's too much. But then we're using it all the time because we're having about 37 trillions of cells in our body, and all of those cells have hundreds and like thousands of mitochondria that is creating the energy inside of them. So if we're not feeding the body what we need energy wise, it's not going to be able to create energy. And if we're not able to create energy, the cells are not going to function. So there's a lot of layers in our health and in like looking at the body and what it needs. But in general, I haven't met a single person that have a symptom that haven't had a malnutrition going on, some type of
Mm.
malnutrition going on.
All right. So we start with water. We all need more water, like just
Yes.
hands down. What's the next thing that we all just need more of? Would it be exercise? Would it be vitamins? What is it?
Exactly. I mean, exercise is always good. I encourage everyone to at least have 20 minutes of a walk every day, and preferably a little bit of a speed walk so you actually start using your lungs
Yeah.
and breathe a little bit deeper. That is very beneficial. And then when we're looking at food, something everyone is lacking, 99% of the US population is lacking essential omega-3.
Mm.
Fish oil. And most Americans, they don't like fish. I don't know about you, Caroline.
Nope. Yep.
So when we're not eating enough of fish, fish is actually an essential building block in every single cell, and that is our anti-inflammatory building block. So when we don't have enough of anti-inflammatory building blocks coming into our body, then we are needing to use something else, and we're eating way too many pro-inflammatory building blocks. But when we're eating that many pro-inflammatory building blocks, and those are the only blocks we have, then we're creating cells that are very pro-inflammatory.
Mm.
And that brings consequences because that's when we're having the low-grade chronic inflammation that is the root cause to most health issues today. So if we want to avoid getting health issues, then we need to regulate our inflammation levels, and that starts on a cellular level, and that starts with omega-3. The biggest problem, though, is that 16% of the US population is already using omega-3, but 99% are still out of balance, which means that most omega-3 supplements don't work.
Wow.
Most supplementations are a sham. And even the people producing them, they know that they're not working, but they keep on selling it because it brings in good
It makes money.
It makes money.
Right.
So, yeah.
So then how do you get it in your system if the ones that are being marketed to you are a sham? What's the answer here?
Yeah, so you need to find an omega-3 which honors how the omega-3 is built up in the nature. If you have an omega-3 at home, go and read on the label. And you also need, depending on your body weight, I'm just using my body now as an example. I'm about 155 pounds. I need 1,300 milligrams of EPA and 700 milligrams of DHA. That's what my body needs to be able to, that my blood work looks good every single time. But when I'm talking about those numbers, they also need to be bioavailable in our system.
Yeah.
And most omega-3, when you're looking at it in the back, when you're looking at the antioxidants being used, they're adding like rosemary extract, they're adding like mixed tocopherols, which is vitamin E. But looking at omega-3 in the ocean, it's never rosemary extract or vitamin E that is combined with
very
omega-3
helpful
to protect it.
Yeah.
No. So when we start understanding that fish, Caroline, have you ever bought fish at home and you open up the package and you can feel it smells a little bit fishy?
Yeah. Probably why people don't want to eat fish.
Yeah, because it's already rancid.
Yeah.
Fish should not smell fish if it's fresh. But most fish oils, They're smelling, they make people burp, it's rancid.
Yeah.
So, and if it's not rancid already before we take it, it definitely go rancid when it comes into our body because our body is a lot warmer.
Mm-hmm.
So the only antioxidant I found that is working good with omega-3, it's polyphenols. So there are a couple of blends out there that is a blend between omega-3 and extra virgin olive oil. So that's what you should look for when you're looking for an omega-3 supplementation.
This is just so fascinating. Okay, so I have a totally selfish personal question, and that is how injury is affected, especially with inflammation. So I had 2 concussions in the last year, and so I have this brain inflammation and ongoing, like, struggles with that, because as much as I wanted my concussion symptoms to be gone, like 6 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I was like, nope, I'm done. I did my resting. Done. My brain was like, sorry, no thanks. Um,
Oh,
yes, and caring for our body in that way is such a difficult thing when we're like, wait, I'm supposed to be better now, but I'm not. What's going on? How do we care for our bodies better post injury and allow ourselves the recovery time we need when it's, in addition to all of our food-based needs, but also injury-based needs?
so injuries, yes. When you're having injury, you need the inflammation, but you definitely need the off buttons to turn the inflammation off when it's done. So you definitely need omega-3 for being able to recover good after an injury. But I also need to educate you then, like concussions. Did you know that 60%, like most of your fat is just, sorry, I need to restart that one.
That's all right.
And most of your brain is built up with fat. It's like a fatty lump. And
Okay.
60% of that fat comes from DHA, which is one of the fatty acids from omega-3.
Okay.
So if people are struggling with omega-3 deficiency up in your brain because you haven't been eating enough of omega-3 most of your life, and you have also been pregnant more than one time, and also during pregnancy, if we're not eating enough, we actually break down our own brain to create a healthy baby brain.
So is
So
that's exactly why we have mom brain during pregnancy and after pregnancy, and we struggle with, like, why can't I not think straight?
postpartum depression and all of that. And
Amazing.
I mean, it's scientifically proven over and over again. And they have done studies where they have actually done x-rays on women and they saw a
Yeah.
5% reduction in the brain volume from before and after they were pregnant.
Mm,
But no
yes.
one is talking and educating about it, even though it's
And
the
this is
facts are
not
out there.
something, and what you're saying here is this is not something that has to happen. This is something that happens because women are, I mean, when I was pregnant, I had 3 kids. I ate very little because all of a sudden I'd get pregnant and I was like not hungry ever.
Yeah.
And so you're saying our brain, this is not something that has to be, this is something that happens because we're not eating
Because we're eating too little of
or
omega-3.
eating the right things.
Yeah. But we also need to supplement even more during pregnancy because we need to have enough for our own brain health. Our omega-3 is a part of every single cell of your body, not only the
Wow.
brain, but every single cell of your body. It's just that it's a specific fatty acid called DHA that is building up the brain, but EPA is building up your whole body. But the body have a big need for this, and the babies have a big need for this. And to be able to create a good functioning gut, babies need this. So if you are ever struggling with kids that have constipation and poor gut microbiome and colic and so on, most likely the mom was deficient in both omega-3s like EPA and DHA
Wow.
during pregnancies as well. So, but what I was going to say is if you have been lacking omega-3 for a long period of time, you're going to be more prone for that brain damage as well when you're having a concussion. You would recover faster if you would have had a better ratio naturally, but we can
Hmm.
take longer time healing due to us being malnourished in omega-3 for that long.
This is fascinating. So why is this not talked about more? How come we don't have more information about omega-3? Is it because everyone's so against fish in the United States?
Yeah, there is a couple of reasons, but I always trace all the answers back to money, right?
Yeah.
And
So
when we're
marketing background, like it really is so important to that you have that background. And I love how that influences, like, I love how that knowledge of that helps you inform your clients and your podcast and everything that you do, because it really does underlie everything.
Yes. So one of the biggest reasons why I don't think people are talking more about it, because the science is already out there. If you have heard about B12 shots, right?
Hmm.
The doctors are measuring you for B12, and if you have too low levels, they give you shots. They do it on regular basis.
Yeah, I think I take B12 supplements.
Yeah. So if you go to Google Scholar is where you find all the peer-reviewed articles, so not only what's hip, but what's
Yeah.
peer-reviewed. And if you Google just like B12, it's about 1.2 million of peer-reviewed articles popping up. Okay? So it's scientifically proven vitamin B, we need it, and the doctors are giving it to us if we're struggling with malnutrition. When we are Googling omega-3 on the same platform with only peer-reviewed articles popping up, it's over 4 million of articles popping up.
Mm.
And then if we're Googling the ratio between omega-6 and omega-3, it's over 2.4 million of peer-reviewed articles. So the data is out there. The only reason for that I can think of why no one is talking about this is because what I see in my clients, every single person I help balancing this, their health improves with anything from 20 to 80%, even 100%. And they have been struggling with health issues that they have been going with many, many, many years. One of my craziest examples, a 70-year-old man had been on high blood pressure medication for 20 years. He had been on
Wow.
2 different high blood pressure medications, the maximum dosage of them. And when we started just changing these markers in his body, he's now using less than 10% of the medication he used to use. And is completely off his statins. And his doctors are just in awe. Like, how can this happen to a 70-year-old guy?
It's
Well,
never it's never too late to change. Like knowledge is power and you can always change and it's incredible. I've seen changes in my family and in my life that are just astounding like how things can transform.
yeah, it is. And that I think that is the biggest reason because omega-3s, it's so powerful. It's affecting every single cell. We're basically improving every single cell's function with anything from like 5% to
Yeah.
20% to 100%, like depending on where you started. But when we're affecting every single cell positively, the body functions better. And if everyone would know about this, the pharmaceutical industry would not be needed the way it's needed today. So
Mm.
that is the biggest reason I believe why no one is talking about it. They don't want this information. They don't put this information in the doctor's books, in any education, really. I talk with doctors, chiropractors, osteopaths, like
There's no
holistic.
motivation.
No, exactly. So it's not put in the books. They don't even understand how the is built up. So I have to educate them on how a cell actually looks. And then when they see it, they're like, duh, this is makes so much sense. But yeah.
So talk to us for just a minute as we wrap up and paint us a picture, cast the vision of what's possible for our health when when we're doing this body hacking, when we're really paying attention to our bodies and our health and doing, feeding our bodies what they need and, caring for ourselves in the way that we really ought to be.
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason why I started my podcast, Body Hacking Build a Better You, is simply because I have this gigantic vision that with enough of knowledge, we can create our own blue zones within our families.
Mm.
So that is like something I am wanting to, like, I have this vision of small families creating a blue zone where they just live happier and healthier for a longer period of time than the rest of the community. And eventually it spreads and eventually we'll have like small communities all over the country where people are just living in their own little blue zone bubble where they just don't really need the doctors unless they break anything, they're just so healthy and
Where they
thriving.
thrive. Yes.
Yeah.
Where we finally can thrive. It's about time
Yeah.
for us to thrive.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just wishing more people can go out there, change their health in a positive direction, and understand that a lot of the aging symptoms people are calling aging, they're only usually symptoms that we are struggling with malnutrition. We've been struggling way too long and the body can't function. So when the body is in pain or like it's just A symptom is just the body's way of screaming, something is wrong, help me. So if we help our body, then we will be able to reap the benefits of having a body that is functioning better. And yeah, let us live our life with more excitement and happiness.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, so tell us how we can find you and follow you and work with you.
Yeah, so you can follow my podcast, Body Hacking Build a Better You. I have a big Facebook group called Omega-3 We Share Experiences if you want to go and learn how you can biohack your omega levels. And you also find me on Instagram just under my name, Michaela Morrell, or Body Hacking with Michaela Morrell. Oh, I have 2 Instagrams, too many.
Amazing. I'm so excited to like deep dive into this more and learn more from you. I think that this is like utterly life-changing information. So
yeah. If you take it and you implement it, you will also feel the life-changing information it is.
I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Be the Dream podcast. In the show notes, you're going to find links to be a guest on the show, the free Jumpstart Journal, and a place to book your free 15-minute one-on-one coaching call where I will guide you on how to step more fully into your dream. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend. Let them know that you're thinking about them, and let's share inspiration with as many people as we can. We could all use a little more motivation. See you next time, and until then, remember to be the dream.